to do it. My parents didn't pay me for the study. You see, that's a miasmatic feeling, limited by the situation. Yeah. Then you see when you use the 5 remedies, the situation changes. It's very strange. The patient comes back and says, "Now I don't know what happened, but my family now will pay for me. I'm not changed, but now my mother just has changed her mind." Very interesting, you see. But we are very connected to our situation all the time. So the situation shows us, the more the situation shows, the more we haven't looked really at our own situation. Yeah. So the situation is starting to teach you instead of that you can become aware of yourself. Yeah. The C6 is more collective, more on the vital level even. Yeah, but that are just ideas. I don't want to make that too big. So to come back, for example, if you have a deep case about someone who has cancer, yeah. I told already in the seminar that you know when there is a deep state of cancer which you cannot reach. It's alright. Just leave it. When you have a deep state and you cannot reach this transformation which you more or less know you need to go through, but you've no idea where you could find it, you see? So you're waiting for a certain message, you're waiting for something, but you have no, and then you give a very high potency, the highest you have. What you do, and that's why we make Hahnemann in the 7780, what you do is you give a message in the unconscious. So what happens, and you only give it twice, that's how I do it. I give 1 dose and I repeat that 1 dose after 30 minutes. So you're sure something came inside. Yeah? So a very high potency gives only a message somewhere in you. And often the patient doesn't realize it. Because we can't realize our unconscious. You see? We cannot reach it.
You're given the high potency because the person wants transformation?
Yeah, needs to go there. And then after 2 to 3 weeks you give in Hahnemann we had made Hahnemann, let me see what I gave. Yeah, what one I gave, Hahnemann. You give after 2 to 3 weeks the 666.
666 of Hahnemann, okay?
Yeah. The 666, and then or when you use another remedy, you give then the 220. That means then you give a potency array on a mental level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what had happened in your unconscious, you start now to understand with your mind. Yeah. The remedy helps you to start to understand it with the mind, with the mental capacities. But then you can become very emotional because you maybe have had a life where you totally disagree with. Maybe you think, I missed it. I just spent 30 years in this relationship and now I see, oh my God, this was not what I have chosen for, or something like that. So you become very emotional. You can become very angry or emotional or in rage or whatever. And in that time you need emotional support. You need to, the body, the emotional body needs to carry that out and needs to have vitality to carry that out. Otherwise it goes inward again. Otherwise you build up another tumor because of that. Yeah. So you digest it on the emotional level, and then you give every week the 30 or the 40. Every week you repeat it with 30 or the 40. Yeah? And then when you feel there is physical support necessary, you give it in the very low LM potency to support the physical changes. Right? So what you do, I repeat again, what you do, you give a very deep potency in a way to give a certain message. Yeah? And then you repeat it with a lower potency, 220 or 30. In Lacumanium we found these two remedies by the intuition, right? And then you repeat it in normal state. You start with 1300 and then you do 220 and then weekly after C30, or you start with LM potencies. Yeah, that is up to you what you kind of working with. But this is a way of understanding. This I only do where I'm sure a good transformation has to take place. In a deep chronic situation. Like you said about your mother, that's why I thought about it. She needs to have support in that transformation. In that. Yeah?
So the remedy is supporting the transformation, in other words, carries
on the archetypical level, mental level, emotional level, physical level. You understand?
Yes.
You kind of work on all the levels at the same time. And if that is possible with one remedy, that's the best. But it's not always that. That is one remedy. The nature is not built that it is only one remedy.
No, so simple.
It can be different remedies. So how to work with the nosodes, that is the way I do it. The tuberculinum, when I see a very strong tubercle miasma, I give this in the 1300 and it's bacilline. It's made from a right bacil. And I give that before I start the constitutional treatment. Like many children who are carrying this miasmas. One job to another job, one thing to another. Always this discontentment in tuberculinum. Discontent, I must be there, I must go there, I must find that. No? So in Medorinum, I do it differently. I give, there are two possibilities. I use Medorinum americanum a lot, because that is made from a new AIDS patient in the United States. And it's very well made, and it has a much more depressive picture. And it's for grown-up people who has the depressive state. I will send a file about it. It's very good remedy, very good. That's why I did that in the box, because it's just something you really need and will use. Yeah. In children, I give often first the constitutional remedy, and then after a week one dose Medorinum C200 or C30, but mostly C200. What you do then is different. It's the normal Medorinum, which is made in a normal pharmacy. It doesn't need to be C4 or anything like that, but you free up that ancestral energy, which is blocking that energy of that child. For example, you have a clear picture of a remedy, but you know that the family situation is quite Medorinum-like. They are drinking every evening, they're going out a lot, they're very ambitious, always on parties. The child is often, this situation. So you see this psychotic background, and then you give the good constitutional remedy to that child, and after 1 week, 1 dose of that nosol. And you free up that blocking energy of the parents, because the child is not a Medorrhinian. The child has already his own identity, and you stimulate first that own identity, and then you free up that ancestral energy. Yeah? So tuberculinum I said, and Medorrhinium and syphilinum I also have said.